I believe everyone has a vocation story, and it's always very interesting to listen to people's story when they first begin to feel a sense of being called or attracted, and in this case to the Sisters of Notre Dame. So when I was in high school, I was a typical high school kid, but I never quite let go of something inside of me. It was gnawing at me. I almost had a secret, and the secret was that I was being attracted to religious life at the time. And I remember explicitly saying there's only one way for me to know if this that is going on inside of my heart was a call to come and see. And I left and I saw. And 50 years later, I just celebrated my Jubilee.
I didn't know anything about religious life. It really did not make sense in my case. I do remember the day when, out of the blue, I got the call. I have heard a lot about religious people getting the call to religious life, and I believe that is something that it cannot be understood unless it happens to you. I did fight that call, and it was a long discernment. I discerned for 3.5, almost 4 years to enter religious life because it didn't make sense. I was working in human resources. I was a relatively successful human resources manager, and I did not have, I didn't go to Catholic school. I didn't attend Catholic college. So it really, I don't have any background. I did some research. I looked for a spiritual director, and I started my journey, my discerning journey. And when I met the Sisters of Notre Dame, and I learned about their ministries, about what they had been doing, I thought, wow, I was really impressed for all that they have done. What they do in Africa, what they do in Latin America. I was taken away for the power of their ministries. But on top of that, they were always happy. Every community that I visit, there was joy in the way they act. It was joy, it was a sense of peace in the community. So it was that joy and that peace that I didn't know at that time. It came obviously from their relationship with God, but that peace and joy that brought me to Notre Dame.
I think what drew me to religious life in general was this nagging feeling inside that I wanted to give my life back to God. I had all my children named. I was going to have 8 kids, and they all had names, but it was this kept coming back to me to give my life away. Even when I had faith crises and I didn't understand really who God was and had a lot of problems, it kind of, in a mysterious way, kept me close to God, and kind of my spirituality grew. And I, in general, wanted to be happy, and that's what would make me happy, to be a sister and a sister in Notre Dame.
I remember some sisters coming in my senior year of high school, and there was a breath of fresh air, a joy, an optimism, a compassion, a love for God and for creation and for people that I was very attracted to, but confused as well. The question kept nagging at me about religious life. I did enter, and I have to say that question of, is there a God, and what is the meaning of life, and how do I have a relationship with this God, whom I had known all of my life and been part of all of my life. Those were propelling me, but I entered because I needed to find some answers.
If you notice the cross of the Sisters of Notre Dame, you belong to one another, and that is a sense of community, that we are never fully alone, whether we're living alone or we're living with 30 other sisters. We belong to a much larger group than we are, and it's a good feeling.
I've been a Sister of Notre Dame for 7 years now, and it has been, continues to be an amazing experience. It has ups and downs. In my case, one of the difficulties is all my family lives in Mexico City. My dad has been sick lately, and that is difficult. I have sincere and great support from the sisters, from my community, and from my friends in Notre Dame. So although it's a difficult part of my journey, the fact that I live that in community is just wonderful, and it makes it bearable.
I think community and ministry, it does make us humble, can make us very humble. And I think with ministry, what I have learned is as you grow, it all becomes very mutual. Like, I don't have all the answers. So right now, working in a safe house, or it is my home, the girls come and live with us, they're survivors, victims of sex trafficking. I have learned to really listen to them because they have some answers for me. And what I've learned basically is that we form family. It's kind of a kinship. As one of the girls said, you know, you invite us in, and at the end of the day, you know, you're all I have right now. So it helped me living in community with other sisters to be able to form community with them. So I think I learned that in community and in my relationships with my sisters, that we're all human beings, and love is what is important.
We are an international community. We're about a little under 1,400 women. We are, as I said, in Africa, in South and Central America, in Japan, in Europe, and in the United States. I think we are women who just love God dearly, love each other dearly, love our heritage. Our foundress, St. Julie, said, have a heart as wide as the world. And she also said, give them what they need to know for life. And as community, we can be together, we can form something amazing and good. And I find that over and over again with Sisters of Notre Dame.
What prompts me to keep on choosing, it just is where I belong. There is such a fit. I certainly went through my times, as my peers did, of wondering about religious life for me and questioning whether I belonged. Something happened inside of me that led me to another point, that I said, I belong here. And I am never more myself than I am with the group of Sisters of Notre Dame. We share the same values, we share a sense of mission. I feel at home. I relate to a lot of other people, and I relate well, perhaps, but no one quite feels my family as the Sisters of Notre Dame.
I know I could have had a deep relationship with God in or out of religious life, and deep relationships with people in or out of life. I think as I started in religious life, it's like, it can be a little puzzling. It's a culture all of its own. It's like putting on a glove, I suppose. It fits you or it doesn't fit you. And it seemed like it was fitting me. But after a while, it's like the glove disappears and it's like your skin. Religious life in our community as Sisters of Notre Dame have become like my skin. So it's not something you can take off or take on. It becomes part of you. I don't know how that happens. It's invisible and mysterious, and has to do with being in relationship with this Creator, Spirit, Jesus, God, in relationship with the Sisters of Notre Dame, but in relationship with God's people too.
What wakes me up is because I want to wake up to who God is for me. Religious life through the years just began to fit more and more. I mean, there was pain, there was joy in community life, in trying to form healthy relationships like any walk of life. I can't imagine, I mean, it's been such a great gift to me, religious life. I mean, it's really given me a life, you know, because I was called to it. I feel it fits me. I can't imagine that we don't really all get to share that with someone else too.
At the school where I work, I was in the conference room, and the secretary came and told me, Sister Barbara, one of your sisters is downstairs looking for you. And it sounded wonderful. I said, yeah, one of my sisters. I thought, well, I only have 200 around this area. I wonder who that is. But it is true. It's just so, I reflected with that for a couple of days. one of my sisters, and it's true. They are my sisters. It is my family. It is where I belong.